Okay, I can. Who's heard guinea pigs? Not very many people. I used to write a humor column. You know, I could read bits and pieces out of my books, but truthfully, I have professional audio narrators for that stuff. And they are like way better at it than I am. So what I've brought with me is some stuff from my checkered past. I used to write a humor column when I was in college and before I knew better. I wrote poetry back in the day, which I have not even brought out of the folder because a person who reads his poetry in public probably has other unpleasant habits. But I'm up for, I've also got a couple of stories about my kids. So I will make this dealer's choice, or actually no, this will be an exercise in democracy. Boo, democracy. What sounds better? Some of these humor columns, I could do some poetry, be aware what you're getting into there, and or I could read like a kid's story. What sounds good? Show of hands, poetry. Let's get that out of the way. No, everyone forgets poetry. I have humor column. Who wants a humor column? Okay, humor column. Cute kid story. Funny it is. Funny it is. I've got something with guinea pigs. I have something with monkeys. I have something, I don't know, the monkey one is kind of problematic. What about zombies and Jesus? That one is super problematic. See, that's why I'm like, I wrote this humor column when I was 20, and it's really easy if you're a white guy to think a lot of things are funny when you're 20 years old, and then you grow up and you realize that you've been a huge dick to the world for years. Because some of the things you thought were funny are super not funny to anyone else. Let's do guinea pigs. And just for a little context here, this actually started out as an advice column called Your College Survival Guide. I spent 9 years as an undergrad. It's not a joke. I started off wanting to give people advice about how to have a successful college career because I kind of knew the ropes at that point. And it quickly became just me making fun of people who wrote in for advice. So here is guinea pigs. I can't wander away because I don't have enough light. Dear Pat, I live in the dorms and I want to have a pet. But they say the only pets we can have are fish. And fish suck. You can't play or cuddle with a fish. I don't want a dog or anything, just like a hamster. What's the difference, really? They both live in an aquarium, right? And it's signed pretty emotional toward mammal embargoes. And then my response is as follows. Also pretty emotional toward mammal embargo. Acronyms down into pet me. It's very clever. Well, pet me, when I lived in the dorms, I too felt the desire for something mammalian to cuddle. However, since I horrify most women, I decided to buy an animal that was required to love me or face starvation. A pet, in other words. So I bought 2 guinea pigs and an aquarium. I called them Mr. Fluffins and Squeaky Pete. They were teddy bear short hairs, cute as buttons. How did I deal with the dorm rule against pets? Simple. I ignored it. This worked for about 2 months until my RA saw them. He told me I'd have to get rid of them, and I agreed. Then I got back to ignoring the rule. This worked very well for another month until he saw them again. Now we have a bit of script-style dialogue here. Him. You said you were going to get rid of those. Me. Get rid of what? Him. Those. Me. I got rid of the old ones. These are new ones. Him. You can't have any pets but fish. Me. They aren't pets. They're food. I'm fattening them up. Him. Listen, there are rules. Me. In Thoreau's concept of civil disobedience, it's every citizen's duty to oppose unjust laws. Him. I'm getting the hall director. So 10 minutes later, the hall director comes in. He says, you can't have pets in the dorms. It says right in the handbook. Me. Except fish. Him. Right. Except fish. Me. Those are fish. Him. Those are guinea pigs. Me. Prove it. So he leaves and comes back with a dictionary, and he says, here, it says right here, fish, an aquatic animal. Me. They're aquatic. Him. Prove it. So I leave and come back carrying my neighbor's 10-gallon aquarium. It's full of water, plastic plants, and several confused neon tetras named after the various stooges. Now at this point you need to know something. Squeaky Pete was everything you could want in a guinea pig. He was loving, cuddly, playful. Mr. Fluffins, however, was standoffish. He would occasionally give me this snobby look as if he really didn't approve of my behavior. A few days ago, he and I had a talk about how he might more willingly embrace the role of loving pet. At the end of the talk, I thought we were in agreement, but when I picked him up afterwards, he made wee on my hand. So, with my hall director standing there, I picked up Mr. Fluffins, dusted the cedar chips off, and dropped him in the aquarium. He squeaked a little and then started to swim. Then the hall director said, aquatic means they live underwater. Swimming around doesn't count. So, turning to look my hall director in the eye, I took Mr. Fluffins in a firm grip and pushed him underwater. Sweet mother of fuck, he shouted, what are you doing? I'm showing you my fish. I said calmly, still looking him in the eye. Mr. Fluffins and the Stooges started some improv comedy that lasted for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I didn't look away from the hall director. His eyes were huge and he was sweating. I didn't blink. Fine, it's a fish, he said. I pulled Mr. Fluffins out of the tank, squeezed him out, then wrapped him in a towel and put him on my roommate's bed just in case he decided to puke. And after that, pet me, my hall director never gave me any trouble at all. Best of all, Mr. Fluffins became the perfect pet. For about 3 weeks. Then he tried to shiv me in my sleep. After that, we had another talk during which he made wee on my hand yet again. So I killed him, ate him, and made his skin into a little hat that I wear to this day. Yeah, there was a lot of that.